So today we're going to be replacing and upgrading one of, if not the most overlooked trailer maintenance item that I've seen worn out on every trailer I have ever owned or used. So today we're working on this 6x12 landscape trailer I got, and these shackles are pretty much shot. This side isn't in horrible shape, but the driver's side is absolutely terrible. So I'm going to break this one down and we'll get to the other side. But I got some upgraded shackles we're going to throw in here, and I'm going to show you that here in a minute. So we got that one out, and that is the old one right there. And this is what we're upgrading to. It's quite excessive for this trailer, but I just wanted to go to ones with the brass bushings rather than plastic, which is what was on the old one and worn out. So it's getting dark, and we're over here at the passenger's or driver's side. This is the one that's really bad. Let me see if I can get this before I take it apart. I might just get the wheel off to get some weight off of it, but where we got the droop from the other axle, potentially loading it over. So let me get this wheel off. So with the wheel off on this one, we can see it here. Look at all that travel in it. Like the shock is sitting up higher, which is not giving us as much clearance here. And then making the axle touch the deck boards, because this is all sitting up like a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch too tall, or too collapsed once the spring gets loaded. Just as I was wire wheeling these, you can see how much slop, or not how much less thread there is on that bottom one. So that one might have been coming loose too. So the reason I'm getting to do the upgrade, besides these shackles I'm showing, is this upper shackle that sits against the frame. You can see how oblong these holes have gotten, smushed out and everything. And then the wear on each end of these bolts, as they've just been getting racked up and down as the trailer travels. It's just on this, decently thick but essentially thin sheet metal for the contact area that it's working with. So I just made some upgrades for these I'm going to be throwing in as I'm doing the new shackles. So we're a new day working on this, and we're going to use these little bushing extra holders I made here. So if you look at the old bolts, they were on the top, they're all worn in because they're just riding on these pieces of metal. So made these, which can slip up in here, and then we're going to weld those in from the inside and then grind that hole wide enough to fit the bushing all the way through. So going to take that, secure it in there with a bolt, just set it in there like that, and it's going to be kind of in its lowest position, and then we'll weld that in, and then we'll get the die grinder and open the holes up where they need to be. That way that we can get the bushing all the way through, and the bushing will sit from end to end on this, and you'll have all this support for the bolt and bushing to ride in. So you got those things welded in there, just phenomenal. Best welds you've ever seen in your life. And now I'm gonna waller this hole out down lower, so that is the same size all the way through, if you would focus. And just get in there with the die grinder and get it taken care of. So it looks like it's really wallered on this side, but it's just where that had pretty much worn before. But it's in there, it's tight, and it's flush for the most part. But it'll work way better. We got the other one in here now, all nice and horribly welded, but way stronger even with bad welds. So I'm gonna throw some paint across these, and then we'll get the axle lifted back up. So there we are, installed. Before we were getting the spring rubbing on the back of here, as you can see, and now that doesn't budge at all. So I'm gonna change out this one to the new bushing style. We'll grease them and put them back in. And on the fronts, just drop the axle. Dropped it from both sides so it can come all the way down. Get your bushing in, lift it back up, and we'll insert the bolt. So we got them all in. Throw some grease in them. Watch it spill out the sides, and we'll be done. We got grease spilling out of both sides on all these. So this is nice and solid. We did notice one thing while we were doing this, which, let me go back to the passenger side and I'll show you. So back over here at the passenger side, notice a little problem. That leaf snapped. So, end up putting a new leaf in on this side. It'll be good for now. That one took quite a bit of grease before it started coming out the outside of it, but they're in. It'll work, and we'll end up fixing this later. With the new shackles and bushings, this thing rides way smoother, quieter. Now just do the leaf springs. Got the axle pulled out because we're going to be replacing these leaf springs. Here is janky broken leaf spring, and it looks like this side had already broken off and gotten lost. And this is the one right here that we finally noticed it on. So got our new leaf springs. They come with factory plastic bushings. We're knocking the brass ones back out, so I got that one out. Got that one still to get out right there. Gonna get those knocked into these. See what it takes to get those plastic ones out. Try not to damage them. Just be nice to have on hand, but try to get those out of there. So for me, somewhere between an 11 and a 12 mil socket. Did pretty good at knocking them out. Did mess the faces up a little bit, but they're definitely still usable. So we're gonna get the brass knocked into these now and get that mounted back on the axle. We'll do the same to the other side. These are much more difficult going in to the eyelets because they're brand new and not all rusted and wallered out. So Arbor Press is doing a much better job of getting these in. Just gotta get them lined up, and really could use 2 hands for this. I got a different angle here, and then they just go right in. There it is. So now we got the brass bushings pressed back in. The knurl on the front of the bolt that goes to the frame, it does mess up this bushing. It kind of bites into a little bit. Probably not the right thing for this style trailer, but I think it'll be all right. The kit we got came with new bottom plates, new U-bolts, because I ended up having to torch cut 1 on this side and 2 on the other. Get those fed up and bolted on. All right, so we got both leaps on, and yes, we are using the blown out boat trailer tires from the boat. There's no real weight on them, so they still roll well, and they don't fit on the hubs. So that's pretty awesome, but it's good enough for moving the axle around. We did leave these loose enough that we can still wiggle them, just tighten these finger tight. And now we're gonna get this back under, get it aligned, and bolt everything up. So under the trailer, get the leaf spring back in. Got these front bolts hammered back in, the Zerk's back in. We are now going to torque the U-bolts down. Then I'll get back out from underneath and we'll torque all the eyelet bolts and shackle bolts down. So I'm gonna look up a torque spec for this size U-bolt, and then I believe these were like 60 or 80 foot-pounds. I have to look those up again. And then get this thing wrapped back up, get these tires back off, the right tires back on. And of course, re-grease. I climbed under before I remembered to grab my phone. But I got the U-bolts torqued down, both sides, and the shackles torqued. On vehicles, I know you normally do this with the suspension loaded, but with how much these pivot, I think this is gonna be fine for a trailer. Just gotta find my 21 so I can get these lug nuts off and get the right wheels back on, but per the usual, no freaking idea what happened to it. This is my 19, that's my 18, and I've done dropped it somewhere. Now I just gotta find it. And who would have thunk it? I put it back away on the rack of sockets. So let's get back to it. We got it all back together, buttoned up, hooked up to the van, and now we're going to throw a mower on it, tow it around, let those leaf springs work, and the U-bolts, make sure nothing comes loose. Try to put about 20 to 50 miles on it and see how it does. Really need to get that string or something on that so I can hold that up. Anyway, that should be a good load. So probably got about 30 miles on it. We're gonna get the mower unloaded, double check our lug nuts, our shackle bolts, and our U-bolts and see if anything came loose. So climbing underneath here, got this set at 75. All good. Let's get to the other side and check those. That one got a little bit. And all good. Check our lugs at 80. They've already been torqued, so I shouldn't have to do a star pattern. We gotta check the other side, but pretty tight fit trying to get this in behind the tire here, but we're getting them. Let me get it on there 1 second. So got it behind the tire, good. Then just to wiggle it back off is the pain. And then get it up onto the next one. So fight it in behind, and good. Last one here in the front. Pretty easy to get onto, but for leverage down, gonna take me a different angle. All right, let's see if I can do it. Got it. So everything stayed tight except for that one U-bolt. And I'm gonna try to tuck some of this loose wiring up onto something to help hold it. Same with one over on that side. And the trailer should be done.